Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. So, my 36 female, ex-husband Tom, 35 male, left me for his work wife Tammy, 25 female, 2 years ago. I never liked her even before I found out about their relationship. The first time I met her at a work event, she told me while I was heavily pregnant with my youngest, "Better up your wife game or I might steal him off you." Well, 3 months later she did. This woman literally came with him to help him pack the day he moved out and tried to have a one-on-one conversation on how she wanted our relationship going forward because she was going to be in my life. Then said as a joke, "Told you I'd steal him away." Not gonna lie, I'm thankful she did, because when my ex made a comment about her being 23 and her brain not being fully developed, I got the ick so bad it turned my heartbreak into relief. I got everything in the divorce because I got him in his affair fog and gave 50-50 custody for our kids' sake. I'm civil for the sake of my kids, so we can both attend events without drama, but other than that, I couldn't honestly care less about them. Around June, Tammy came instead of Tom for pickup and practically skipped towards me to show off her engagement ring, saying she wanted me as a bridesmaid along with my daughters for something I didn't catch because I was in a rush to get our cat to the vet. She got upset because I just said, her whole conversation per Tom's text a few hours later. Same happened again in September when she told me she was pregnant, which again, my zero ducks given upset her. In December when she told me the second I opened the door, "Tom's finally getting a son," to which I sarcastically replied, "I'm sure Tom's excited for an heir to take over his lands and titles," which caused drama too because Tom's family found it hilarious when Tammy was bad-mouthing me. December was the last time I saw her, till today at drop-offs with Tom. As they approached me, I noticed Tammy didn't look pregnant anymore. Tammy tearfully said, "We lost the baby." I didn't answer, just told Tom our second daughter has a birthday party tomorrow at 3, and the oldest has gymnastics at 5. Tammy literally screamed at me I was a heartless bee and bitter, then grabbed the girls' bags walking away. Tom said I could show a little humanity towards Tammy, and regardless of my feelings, she is my kid's stepmother. I told Tom I didn't care about what he was going through because outside our girls, I don't care about them, and I don't owe Tammy anything, especially pity. He called me an a-hole, along with other things, and left. Usually this wouldn't bother me, but my ex-in-laws, who I have a good relationship, have told me I should have shown Tammy some empathy, and at the very least, pretended to care for the sake of the kids. Oh my God, what an entitlement. I think that's the biggest one I've seen lately. Wow. Asking the person whose marriage ended due to your affair with her husband to be a bridesmaid when you wed her ex-husband, there's surely something missing in her head. And I'm sure she is sharing personal details about herself because she's trying to shove her happiness in OP's face. OP needs to ask herself if she's going to be friends with his next wife. Karma is a B, and OP has every right to be one as well. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. I'm sure they do. Imposter Syndrome 412 says, "So you're supposed to show empathy to someone who ruined your marriage and goes out of their way to get a reaction out of you? No, not the a-hole." Do Librarian says, "Not the a-hole. You don't have to do a thing for her. It's about co-parenting with your ex. It's weird to me that she's sharing personal details about her life. She must not have friends or something, but that isn't your issue." JM Rhett 2301 says, "Dear OP, you are enduring a horrible situation with tact and poise. You were protecting your children and refusing to get pulled into this young, immature woman's drama. Why should you care about her being upset? Admittedly, it is a difficult loss. It's like she wants you to congratulate her on her relationship with your ex-husband and sympathize with her troubles. Your ex and his fiancée are delusional. Stay strong." My ex cheated on me for most of our relationship. I found out during my pregnancy with our daughter, and he had the other girl pregnant too. My daughter was a June baby, and theirs was an October baby. They also got married that following February. To say things between us have been tense is an understatement. Ex's wife didn't know immediately that he was with me, or that we had been together since we were 15. She hated me for overshadowing her own pregnancy with mine. She hated me even worse when she needed an emergency C-section and had so many complications that a hysterectomy had to be carried out. The tension between us all then was at its worst. Ex's wife wanted me to give up my daughter for them to raise both girls together as real sisters, and when I refused, we had all the drama. I don't even think she would have been able to love my daughter had I done that. But I think she wanted more than one badly enough that she thought my daughter would do since she was already born. Ex and I now communicate through an app mostly. We share custody of our daughter, 14, and exchanges happen at school pickup time to minimize the contact between us. This has worked for many years, though I know not ideal for my daughter overall. My daughter and her half-sister have a very high conflict relationship. It's over me and Ex's wife. Ex's daughter has picked up her mom's attitude toward me and dislikes me and believes I keep her sister from her real family. And my daughter doesn't like Ex's wife, which annoys her half-sister. This has been communicated to me a number of times by my daughter and also by my ex, who will send random texts about it. I never respond because our mandated communication is done through the app. Ex and his wife had some financial problems over the last 6 months. For my daughter's birthday, she got a card and a gift card, and my ex told her in advance he wouldn't be able to get her much. I was able to get her a present as normal though. I splurged a little this year and got my daughter a gaming laptop. She was so happy. Ex became aware of this when my daughter spent a bit of time with her grandparents, and she asked them if she could bring the laptop to their house. Ex asked her about it, and she told him I bought it as a birthday gift. Now, Ex's daughter's birthday is a couple of weeks away, and he wants me to buy her a gift, something I've never done before. He said the money situation is still tight, and he doesn't want her to get nothing. I told him I would not be buying her a gift, and he blew up the app and my phone, saying I should be doing this so his daughter isn't left with a lackluster birthday. Ex said I had never done anything to help the dynamic with the girls and never cared about the pain he and his wife were in, and this was one thing I could do. Am I the a-hole? These people have no boundaries. In my opinion, OP is responsible for raising her child only. The audacity to ask OP to give them OP's child so they can raise the children together as a real family. Ridiculous. Especially after all the pain they caused OP. These people have made it clear they don't like OP, and their dislike is so blatant that their daughter is likewise disrespectful to OP, and they expect OP to now fund their daughter's expenses. Nope. OP should definitely continue to keep her contact with them at a minimum, and potentially keep future gifts for daughter away from X and his family. The jealousy will only escalate. It's not OP's job to prop up her ex's new family. Do you agree with me, guys? And now let's go to the next story. Sister-in-law and I never truly got along. The reason is that we have different mindsets on some stuff regarding how we live our lives. And while I'm respectful or indifferent about her life choices, she's always trying to impose her beliefs and choices on me and my fiancé, her brother. My fiancé and I, 26 male and 26 female, have been together for 7 years, and we have a very loving relationship. He proposed 6 months ago, and I started wedding planning 3 months ago. We have a very loving relationship with great communication, and we still go on dates and like to dress up. We join activities and hobbies together, and overall, our relationship hasn't changed, and we haven't stopped loving each other more and more. Sister-in-law, on the other hand, has a different mindset. She was married, and her marriage was the kind of marriage where they brag about how much they hate and can't stand each other. She'd also mock me and my fiancé's relationship the entire time and call our dates, dressing up, and our hobbies BS. Claimed we do it for attention and don't truly love each other, and also said how she can't wait till we end up hating each other too in the future. She and her husband filed for divorce 2 months ago, and I honestly am indifferent about it. I don't feel sad or happy. I just don't care. Yesterday, my mother-in-law and father-in-law had joined us for dinner. As I was talking about some wedding stuff, mother-in-law pretty much confronted me and said, how can I be so happy and excited to plan a wedding while my sister-in-law is getting divorced? My fiancé tried to intervene, but mother-in-law told him to shut up because he's a terrible brother who doesn't support his sister through these hard times. She also said I have no empathy for sister-in-law, and I only care about my wedding and my little stupid dates. I told her I indeed don't feel sorry that sister-in-law, the person who bragged about hating her husband and being in a loveless marriage, is getting divorced. She and her husband had it coming. I also won't feel sorry for a person who mocked my happiness and relationship. Mother-in-law said I'm very insensitive for saying this, and she expects an apology to her, as well as to my sister-in-law for this. She left after that, and only told me and my fiancé to call her if we want to apologize, and only then. Am I the a-hole? I bet sister-in-law and her ex-husband were the types of people to have a cake topper showing them fighting, or showing him being forced to marry with a ball and chain at his feet. Seeing happy couples should make you happy for them. If she isn't able to see someone being happy and being thrilled for them because she's so focused on her own misery, that's her loss. I absolutely detest when people expect others to hide their happiness or excitement about something wonderful because they themselves are having a difficult time. If they're miserable, they want the world to stop and be miserable with them. It is narcissistic behavior, and it's appalling. Don't you think so, guys? And now let's go to the next story. I married my husband 4 years ago, and I've known him for years. He has an older sister who does not like me. My crime? Her husband got a little too flirty with me when my husband introduced us all, and he had to be told to back off by not just me, but my husband. Of course, I was the W trying to steal her man. The fact I never did anything to encourage it and actively told him to stop and walked away wasn't enough. It also wasn't an isolated thing with him, but my husband intervened to make sure he knew we meant business. She has 3 kids with the husband. Ever since that day we met, she's kept me at arm's length with her kids. And she's rude, very rude. Has also treated me in very childish ways, but it's whatever. I won't force myself into a place I'm not wanted. I am kind to the kids, but she never wants me spending too much time with them or talking too much with them. But now she is jealous because my sister's children are close to me and my husband, and I spoil them since I have fertility issues and might never get to be a mom. She called my husband out first, and he told her that her kids were welcome, but he wasn't going to take money we earned together and tell me I need to stay home or not speak to her kids while they're with him, us. She then confronted me and accused me of treating her children badly. I told her she can't treat me badly, keep me out of her kids' lives, and expect them to benefit from me being their aunt. I told her I would love to spoil her kids too, but if I'm not welcome, then I can't. She said I was taking our issues out on her kids. Maybe I said things wrong here. Am I the a-hole? So she wants OP's money for her kids, but doesn't want OP around, is rude, and actively works against her kids having a relationship with OP. She is an entitled human being, and she has only herself to blame. And the sister-in-law has some serious insecurity and controlling issues she needs to work out with her own husband, not OP. OP is definitely not in the wrong here in my opinion. I'm getting married to my fiancé Brad when things get less hectic. We have everything planned out, including who's coming, which has been very controversial. My sister Leah used to date Brad's older brother Mike. She broke up with him because Mike cheated on her. Mike became a bit of a stalker and did things, and she got a restraining order against him. I was angry at Mike, but when I went to university, his brother was in my class and we fell in love. Anyways, when we were discussing who should come, my fiancé said he wanted his brother. Brad said it's because he's very close with Mike, and also Mike saved his life. Brad wants Mike to be there to see him progress even further in life. Brad teared up a bit. He isn't an emotional guy, and said he's sorry, but he's choosing Mike over Leah. I'm very close with Leah, but Brad is my future husband, so he kind of takes priority. I told Leah the bad news, thinking she would understand because she's still going dress shopping with me, and she said I was no longer welcome in her home or to see my niece. Am I the a-hole? So basically OP is choosing her sister's cheating ex over her, who has done nothing wrong except date the wrong guy. She shouldn't be punished because Mike doesn't know how to behave himself. Why isn't OP's fiancé worried about starting the marriage off on a bad note with OP? Restraining orders aren't given lightly. This isn't just the wedding. This is OP choosing Mike every time from here on out. I feel sorry for OP's sister. My mother died about 15 years ago. She left a lot of expensive jewelry in a bank locker. I also put my expensive jewelry in the same bank locker. My dad and I are the only ones with access to that locker. The assumption was that I and my daughter would get the jewelry when she died. She has said this to me and my dad, but not in writing. My dad started dating a woman 30 years younger than himself, 35 female. I'll call her G, shortly after my mother died, and suddenly a lot of the jewelry went missing. I stumbled upon some pictures of G, and she was wearing different pieces of my mother's jewelry in these pictures. In one picture, G was wearing my wedding ring. I confronted my father, and he was upset that I cared about the missing jewelry. He wasn't remorseful. He was just upset he got caught. I told him that the jewelry did not belong to G, and I wanted it back. He gave a few pieces back, but not all of it. I am frustrated that he has not returned all of the jewelry that he has taken from me. Wow. OP's father did something exceedingly disrespectful to OP. OP needs to tell him all the jewelry needs to be returned and have it all inspected to make sure no stones have been replaced with fakes. Also, OP should tell the girlfriend that none of that belongs to her, and if it all is not returned, then OP can and will press charges for theft. Especially as OP said some of the jewelry was hers, including your wedding ring.